Good afternoon. Welcome to day 2 of our Division of Academic Innovation virtual conference. I'm privileged to host our Fireside Chat. Even though we're here in Florida, there is no fire. We know we can't have those in Florida, but we will call this our Fireside Chat. So thanks for your time today. And we're excited to be joined by Dr. John Watret, the Chancellor of Worldwide here at Embry-Riddle. And we're really, our goal here is to really have some conversations. We put together some questions, so you might find us referring to our notes here in just a second. But it's really meant, this session is really meant to hear more from our leadership in regards to some of our conference things. So you're going to hear us explore a little bit about digital learning. You're going to hear us explore about generative AI, of course, how accessible environments are important to us here at Worldwide. And then lastly, we hope to dive into the impact of data around our campus as well. So I'm excited to host this for us. And, you know, when Dr. Watret's journey has a great story to share on his journey throughout higher education, for everything from traditional faculty to leading online. But what's even more impressive is that he's had a deep commitment to accessibility for education, which is really, really important. And to take that into play, we couldn't do it without a technology. So Dr. Watret's always been very supportive and innovative, as that's one of our themes for the conference, of being out and being forward-thinking in regards to higher education and the use of tech. But most importantly, just expanding and reshaping the future of Embry-Riddle as a global education network with sites all across the world is a very powerful part of who we are today, and that's to his credit. And I think today, for this particular moment in time in higher education, we're looking forward to this conversation. And welcome, Dr. Watret.
Thank you.
And so, just to start us off, Dr. Watret, you've had a very interesting career, from traditional faculty to leading a very complex online organization. High performing online people come to us. We have a great reputation. But let's go back maybe to some of those earlier days. What inspired you to go after digital learning as a key part of your journey here?
Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks for being here, and thank you for being part of the conference and sharing my views on where I've come from in digital learning. So, as you said, I was a traditional faculty teaching mathematics. Came in, was teaching math in a traditional format as a PhD student, and then beginning here in '89 in Daytona campus, teaching in the classroom. But my interest in digital or a different mode of delivery started in 1996, when there was a group of faculty from Daytona Beach. There was one faculty from humanities, math, physics, and engineering, and we created what was called the Integrated Curriculum in Engineering. And the format of that was, we took 32 students, selected them, and they were in groups of 4. Boeing gave us a grant, and each one had a laptop at that time. So, and we repurposed one of the classrooms on campus with the 4-man station, 4-person station, so that they could work. And all the courses were integrated, and they used technology as a module. So the laptop was a key part of their learning in their groups of 4. So we as a faculty would actually write the modules, upload them. It wasn't online. It was in the classroom. It was uploaded. And then they would do, rather than standing lecturing, we would be more the facilitator of the learning in the group sessions. And we did that for 4 years. It was very successful. They were in the integrated curriculum for 2 years, and then they went back into the regular mainstream of their courses. And we had a test group that was long there, so we could see. And the students that came through the ICE ended up outperforming the regular students. So that was a way, because I was using technology, using the laptop, uploading, making modules in a very elementary way for that program. So that went from 96 to 2000. And then in 2000, I moved into administration, and I stopped doing that. So when I had the opportunity to come over to Worldwide, and even in 2006-07, online was not a major part of it. It was almost 80% of our students were taught in classroom, in person, throughout the distributed model. So we just had a small online learning, and we were just moving in from the CD stage into the online using internet. So I was always looking to encourage what we could do. And one thing that I did to really start our faculty into using technology was I implemented a minimum blackboard use in all classrooms. Even if they were teaching in person, there was a minimum blackboard use. And that got the faculty involved in use of technology. They got them awareness of technology. And then I had a few key faculty that were interested in developing an online course, worked with them and our online team, and to start developing the courses. And the courses it did well. We got awards for it. And then the rest of the faculty started to see the advantage of it and moved on. So with that, and then we developed the full IDD team, and really that's when it took off. And the students themselves really were the ones that moved us into this high online performance of almost 90% of our courses online. The students realized that for convenience, they enjoyed it better rather than getting off work and driving back to a classroom situation and sitting there for 3 hours. They could do it in their home and do it equally as well. So I've always encouraged it. I never really forced it, but it came along. But technology is a key part of higher education.
Yeah. Well, just as a follow-up to that, I mean, in those early days, that was, and we've heard through the panel session just before this one and others, the importance of experimenting. And, we throw innovation around a lot, but you and your colleagues that kind of took a risk too, because you decided to do something out of the mainstream and studied it, looked at it, and seen the results that happened, which to me, it sounds like that really planted the seeds for our digital future here at Embry-Riddle.
It did, a lot of that. And even on campus, it's still used. Some of the elements of the old ICE program is used in the engineering curriculum now.
Yeah. Well, looking at where higher ed is today, what excites you more about our future of learning? And again, this whole conference is we've really expanded our focus to talk about across all modalities. Not, we're not here just to say that it's just online or it's just a traditional mindset. We're working through hybrid with many of our branch campuses and so on. But what are some things that excite you today about our opportunities?
Well, I think that the fact that technology is becoming a mainstream part of higher education and what we can do with technology now. It's not just you're putting the lectures up and having an online presence where the students are interacting. We've got all the labs, everything that can be done. Engineering is not restricted to being in a physical location, in a physical lab. And we see that with what we've gone through with even ABET, getting ABET approval. And that's one of the things that I always enjoy is when we have a site visit coming in to look at from ABET or one of the other accrediting agencies. The visiting team is usually from a traditional environment. So they're coming in very skeptical as to how this program can be taught online, fully online, asynchronous, with labs and everything. And from that first sit down until 2-3 days later when they're leaving and doing the exit interview, there's such a turnaround when they see what technology can do today to enhance the learning experience. And all experiences, whether it be a lab experience or whether it be just a lecture experience, it all can be done very well online now.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Well, shifting gears, we couldn't have a conference. We can't have a session where we're not talking about generative AI. You and I have been talking about this for a very, very long time, almost since my arrival here. And just kind to strategize as it changes almost daily. So question is how do you see AI reshaping education? Specifically, it'd be great for you to address maybe the faculty's role or how you see students learning and really even within all of our administrative processes.
Well, I think, AI, when anything new comes, there's always skepticism of what it is, and there's always a worry that it's going to take over and people lose jobs and it's going. But AI is there. It's not going to do that. It's how we use it and how we use it to enhance the learning experience. And across all of disciplines, it's not just higher education. It's across all careers, and even a lot in aviation aerospace, and that's something we have to do. So it's something that is, well, I would say you go back, when we started, there was no computers, there was no MATLAB, there was no nothing, no technology to enhance the learning. AI is just a new tool that's come in, a very strong tool that's going to be, because it is moving fast, as we know. But we just need to embrace it and use it as a learning outcome. How can we enhance the learning outcomes using AI so that we get the key part components, critical thinking, the students still understand what they're doing, the student is going to be successful with it, and take it from there.
Good, yes. Just to give you a insight window, when I'm meeting with Dr. Watret, many of our conversations come back to this idea of how do we develop in our modality students with a higher level of critical thinking, a higher level of ethical reasoning, and even creativity. And, we spent some time even before AI talking about the importance and how you want to, especially like our teams, to work with faculty and developers on enhancing our curriculum to have that focus, which we do in many of our courses, and we keep expanding that and challenging those limits. But, recently you and I had a conversation about, now we not only hear from the workforce about that critical thinking piece, but, the employers are expecting our students to have AI-related workforce elements to that. So in your mind, how do you see there's a balance there between emphasizing AI and AI as your knowledge partner, but then enhancing what our mission has always been, is to have students that go to these employers when they're done with the Embry-Riddle brand, that are strong critical thinkers, ethical reasoners.
So I mean, education is not just the learning the tool or the subject. It's learning how to embrace it and how it can be used into the future. So it's upon us to learn them how to use the tool, the AI, effectively, and how it can be used in the future employment, because it's going to be there. So if we're able to get them the tools for that, when they actually go in and are employed, it's going to be an easy transition for them to get into the workplace and use it effectively towards the mission that they're working on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's important. I know for our teams that, a lot of times for those of us that are pedagogical focused, we always talk about personal learning and those types of things that go with that. Is what does it mean to have personalized learning? And, when we think of the whole AI, I like to think that the AI is going to bring us to that point where we've been talking about it and now we can do it. Because if every student has a tutor or every student has an agent that is part of their learning process, because we know the dream that one-on-one works great, but, that's not a great business model for a university to have a faculty one-on-one ratio. That's just impossible. But now we're at a place that can happen. So that's an exciting to think about it. And, one of the conversations that we kind of shy away from AI is to completely forget that learning adaptive learning can happen today. And so as our teams work towards that, I think that's a very exciting place to be. So let's move on and talk about our students a little bit more. From early stages worldwide, it's typically provided education to what we would have called our post-traditional students, or the personas are different than others. But, I like to think that students are students. I mean, traditional, post-traditional, we could have an 18-year-old now that is 2 years of college under their belt, and they want to keep working and they want to go to school. I mean, you name the scenario, it is. And so I know I'm a big champion of one size does not fit all, but one size should fit one. And so, Embry-Riddle worldwide, we've been on that. But what has been your vision in regards to, many students today juggle many responsibilities, work, family, military obligations. And how have you seen over time that we've gotten better at designing experiences to kind of account for these kind of realities?
Well, I mean, from the onset of starting down this online delivery mode, which was really back in 2008-9 is when we really went into a strong force to develop all the courses online. It's more a convenience for the students. I mean, as I mentioned before, because we have those working adults, many working adults on full-time military personnel, they've got a full-time job and then they've got to do the course. So the online environment allows them not to have to go back out and sit in the classroom. They can do it at home and blend it into their busy schedule as they have it. But that's for our type students, and our type students are those non-traditional. But online now has become a key part, or any kind of technology-enhanced learning has become a key part of higher education. We see it in the residential students across the U.S., and we can't just, I mean, yes, COVID kind of accelerated that the technology can be used to deliver the courses, but it's the students now, even in the residential, when we were in college as a full-time student, you were a full-time student. And that's the thing. I mean, you went to class and then you had all the activities and the clubs and organizations and everything around it. Because the reality of time, many of our full-time students on the residential campuses are also working almost full-time in a job to do it. So what we see now, and we see it with Worldwide and from our residential campuses, the number of students that are choosing to blend in an online course to their schedule. So, I mean, on the residential campuses, they're required to take 5 courses, a minimum of 5 courses as part of their full-time load. Well, now they can take 4 in person and then 1 worldwide online, or 3 in person too, which allows the flexibility for them to do work and go to school, or during the summer they can go to an internship, or they can take time off and be at home with family, but still continue taking courses leading, so that they're not delaying their graduation time. So I think we're going to see more and more of that. That fully traditional 100% in person. I think we're going to see fewer students actually doing that, and this online is going to be a key part of it, and technology is part of it, and that's where that AI comes into helping us create those courses for all the different age groups.
Absolutely, yeah. Because we do. I mean, experiences, your life experiences, and other things that go into that, and courses could become highly adaptable. It makes me think too. I always think of my own education journey. I used to have a picture on my desk of holding my son as a baby and a book in this hand for part of those degrees, and I'm sure many of you out there have done the same, or you're in that right now. We have several people in the DAI that's working on degrees and so on, and it's, you want to encourage them on in those stories, but it's possible. Education, and again, one of your focuses has been expanding accessibility, and it is just part of, when we study 18-something students, they're not the same makeup as they were 20, 30 years ago. It makes sense that we have flexibility within all of our programs. Again, I love the panel session right before, as they were discussing so much around that our quality doesn't change across the board. And actually, that's not one of our questions, but I'd love for you to address that is over time, through your leadership, we have raised the standards for what it means to take courses online. Is there anything that stands out to you as part of that journey?
I mean, part of that, I mean, and we've talked about this before, but in terms of education is a journey. And, the more that we can help to enhance that learning experience, and I always say every time we meet, we're talking about we have to be innovative in terms of what we do. we have to be disruptive in how we deliver things, because that's, if we stay doing the same thing all the time, we're not going to get to the next step. So, and that's where I think AI is going to enhance us to be more disruptive and be more creative in how we get it. So it kind of throws it back onto you in a sense, in terms of, as the Dean of the Division of Academic Innovation, that's where the AI lies in terms of allowing the faculty to be more creative within developing, working with our instructional design and development to go away from that traditional type delivery, which has been hugely successful. So where do you think we are going to go to this next step in using AI as we develop new courses?
Yeah, great question. And I have to reference Will in the previous panel, as he just gave a simple solution. Is like, why not open worldwide modules up to traditional students and faculty just as other resources? Because I do believe, as I mentioned previously, I think we talk a lot about Gen AI, but we're also at the same time developing adaptive learning environments. So, again, a world where AI knows my needs and yours differently and will respond as a course. And so usually the question arises, well, what's the role of faculty in all this? We still need faculty with strong experience, because AI doesn't have the experience. It can only simulate what it knows. So the way we deliver knowledge changes. But overall, our experience is going to be a very close partnership with the technology that's going to really grow the students, again, more on a one-on-one level. And that's where I see a true opportunity for, online learning. So as many colleges are out there just trying to get online learning going, we're at such a unique place to experiment, to try new things. It's fun that we can have this dialogue for everyone to know that Dr. Watret every week challenges me to bring more innovation forward, and we want to do that because we need it. We're at a place that we can definitely experiment, try new things. So that's good. Well, let's, as we kind of wrap things up, I guess one real quick one that we can kind of end on is, we can't do this without data. And, a lot of times around data, higher ed, we have data all over the place. But can you, as one of our tracks for the conference, just kind of give us some insight where you have seen that we've made data-informed decisions that have really propelled us here at Worldwide?
So that was one thing that when I came over here, and because we had this distributed model, we had to have data and find out what was happening across the system. And that's when we started looking at having usable, effective dashboards. And Becky Vasquez was with us at the time, and that's one of the reasons why it's Worldwide at a glance, because when I charged Becky, I said, I don't want to have to look at a dashboard and figure out what it's telling me. I want to just be able to glance at it and get the information and have an idea. So that was one of the justifications of Worldwide at a glance coming out. But data is so important. I mean, we've used it in many ways. We use it with the registrations. We've used it in the past when we had a more robust distributed model in the what we call the campus locations out there. We used to have a campus dashboard in terms of indicate how they were doing, a success rate, and they're doing. So each one had their own dashboard that we could follow to see through how we're doing it. We've got financial dashboards. We've got, we've got the student evaluation dashboard and the information that we can glean from that. We have to have the data. If we don't have the data, we can't move forward, and we can't move forward effectively in a proper way, because then you're just going to make a decision without any real rationale behind it.
Yeah, good. Well, thank you, Dr. Watret, for the Fireside Chat without a fire today. I guess just in closing, a message really for all of us as we, throughout this conference, the whole focus has been on innovation, and everything from some of the sessions yesterday to Dr. Austin's challenge to us in the keynote to the panel and now the Fireside Chat is one thing is clear, that we're all catalysts to make change, to reimagine teaching, help our students learn, and then really continue to be a leader in higher education. So my charge to you for the rest of the afternoon is to have those conversations, join in this movement, join in our community to innovate here at Embry-Riddle, and don't let those stories just stop today, but we're hoping those conversations head in the future. Thank you, Dr. Watret.
Thank you. Excellent.